Flashing cameras filled the grand corporate gala. Crystal chandeliers reflected off polished marble floors. Wealthy guests laughed, applauded, and raised glasses as the young CEO of Lane. A corporation stepped onto the stage with her 8-year-old daughter standing quietly beside her. Everything looked perfect, until it wasn't. From deep within the crowd, a man pushed forward. His face was twisted with rage. In one sudden motion, he pulled out a gun and aimed it straight at the little girl on stage. Screams erupted. Glasses shattered. Guests ran in every direction, trampling over chairs, desperate to escape. Security froze for a split second too long, but one man did not run. Wearing a cheap, worn-out vest and holding a toolbox, a maintenance worker near the back looked up. He didn't shout. He didn't hesitate. He dropped the toolbox and ran. In seconds, he crossed the ballroom. He leapt onto the stage and threw his body in front of the child, arms spread wide like a shield. The gun fired. The sound echoed through the room. The man collapsed to his knees as blood spread across his shirt. He wrapped his arms around the trembling child, protecting her completely. With his last strength, he whispered softly, "You're safe now." The room fell silent. That man was Michael Hale, 38 years old, a single father, a maintenance worker in the Lane Corporation Tower, the man who fixed broken lights and unclogged toilets, the invisible man everyone walked past without noticing. To the world, he was nobody. To one little girl, he was everything. "Daddy, you're my superhero," his 9-year-old daughter Ella used to say every morning before school. Hugging him tightly, Michael would smile and ruffle her hair. "I'm just a regular dad, sweetheart." But he wasn't regular. Not even close. Hidden beneath his quiet life was a past he had buried deep. Sergeant Michael Hale, call sign Ghost Wolf, former Special Forces operative, a soldier who had completed missions that never appeared in official records. 6 years ago, after his wife died suddenly, leaving him alone with a 3-year-old daughter, he walked away from that world. No more battlefields, no more life-or-death missions, just his daughter. A quiet life, a safe life. The only reminder of his past was a worn dog tag tucked beneath his shirt, engraved with 2 words, duty and honor. On the other side of the city, Isabella Lane had built an empire. At 30 years old, she was respected, feared, and admired. But success had cost her warmth. Trust was a luxury she believed she couldn't afford. Her daughter Sophie was used to bodyguards and assistants, but not hugs or playdates. "Mommy, can I have a friend over sometime?" Sophie once asked softly. "We'll see, honey," Isabella replied without looking up. "Mommy's very busy." That night at the gala, Isabella was giving a speech about innovation and the future. Sophie stood beside her, uncomfortable under the lights. She scanned the crowd and noticed a kind-looking man near the back wearing a plain vest. He smiled gently at her. She smiled back. Then chaos exploded. After the shot was fired and the gunman was tackled, paramedics rushed in. Michael lay bleeding on the stage. Ella pushed through the crowd, screaming for her father. Collapsing beside him, gripping his hand. "Please don't leave me." "You promised?" she cried. Michael opened his eyes briefly and squeezed her hand. "My brave girl." At the hospital, doctors fought to save his life. Hours passed. Finally, a surgeon stepped out and said the words everyone was praying for. "He's alive." The bullet missed his heart by centimeters. A retired military colonel recognized the dog tag that fell from Michael's shirt. His face went pale. "Ghost Wolf," he whispered. "A legend." The truth spread fast. Videos went viral. Millions watched the moment a man everyone ignored stepped forward, while everyone else ran away. The world learned that the janitor was a war hero who chose fatherhood over fame. Flowers filled the hospital room. Letters arrived from strangers, veterans, parents, and children. On the 3rd day, Michael opened his eyes and saw Ella sleeping beside him, still holding his hand. Sophie ran to his bed. "You saved me," she said through tears. "You didn't even know me." Michael smiled weakly. "I'm a father. I couldn't let another little girl grow up without her mom." Isabella stood there, shaken. "I judged people by titles and suits," she said quietly. "And I was blind." She promised to change, to let her daughter live, laugh, and play. Weeks later, Michael returned home. He refused interviews, movies, and fame. All he wanted was his daughter. One afternoon, Sophie handed him a drawing. It showed a man with angel wings protecting a child. "You're my guardian angel," she said. Michael's eyes filled with tears. He looked at the two girls drawing together on the floor and understood something deeply.